So in today's video, we are going to look over this Facebook ad. So this Facebook ad was sent in to me by one of the members of the free SMA Service Delivery Kings school group, which you can find in the description as the first link in the description. They sent this in and asked if I could do a review for them, which I was obviously happy to. And if you'd like me to do a review of your ads, put it in there and I'll add it to the list. And I do this sort of once a week where I go over a member's ads and see if we can't all learn together. So we're just going to get straight into this one because there's a few things to cover off here. I've only really just looked at this very cursory, but yeah, let's have a deeper dive and work out some areas we could potentially improve this ad. Just give me a sec here. Obviously, this is very raw and very real time. Okay, so the first thing with any ad is we need to identify if it follows the framework that I suggest in my videos, which is that pain point solution. So let's look at what his first offer is. The first thing people see in the ad, which is this here. We're going to go and read that and we're going to determine if this sort of ticks the box. Because you remember when you have an ad, let's say this is the ad here. When you have an ad, this first sentence is here. Then you got the picture, then you got the button, and you got the headline, right? That's what it looks like. So it's the first thing people see outside of the image. So we need to make sure that it really stands out and it really attracts attention. So let's have a look at this here. Attention OC ladies, ready for perfect brows. Okay. It's not that it's bad, but it's not really super good either. So the first thing we can do is we can get rid of attention because we don't have to ask for attention because you're already asking your audience. So it could be like OC ladies, are you ready for perfect brows? So it's missing are. We're not actually asking them anything at the minute. We're just saying, ladies, ready for perfect brows. Ladies, are you ready for perfect brows? That's not necessarily that bad, but what I would be doing here is maybe talking to a pain point, trying to create emotion. I would be like, OC ladies, crazy brow, whatever they call them, right? There'll be a name for dodgy eyebrows like mine, furry eyebrows, something like that. I'd have something like, OC ladies, are furry eyebrows ruining your day? Something like that, because it creates emotion. The emotion it creates is embarrassment and it opens up a pain point, right? Remember, we got to open up a pain point as the first thing we do here. The reason we want to open up a pain point is that generally people will have a reason to keep looking at the ad if they see that. And we need to make sure whatever we do fits in that see more so it doesn't get truncated. We want to keep it short, concise, and snappy. So we want to open up a pain point, and embarrassment is a good one to do when it comes to ladies. So I'd be like, ladies, are furry eyebrows or wild eyebrows ruining your day? Something like that. And then I would have something like that. I would have something like, what else we got here? Whatever company is waiting to give you the brows of your dreams. That works okay, but the thing with having that there is that it implies that someone hasn't done this before. We narrow our audience down too low and too small. Whereas if we want to open up the pain point and we want to reinforce a pain point, so I'd have something like, there's nothing worse than stepping out and knowing people are staring at your eyebrows. Maybe, yeah, there's nothing worse than stepping out and people staring at your eyebrows not in a good way. Something like that, right? So imply something around that. We're reinforcing the pain point. They're embarrassed already because they've got these crazy old eyebrows that they know they need to get plucked and maintained. We're reinforcing that pain by driving our finger into it and going, there's nothing worse than stepping out in the town and people are looking at you, but they're not looking at you because you've got awesome eyebrows. They're looking at your eyebrows because they're crap, right? And then I would reinforce that pain point there. So just reinforcement. And then I would move into something like how we offer the solution. And I would say something like, tame those unruly eyebrows. You could go something like, are you ready to tame those eyebrows? Are you ready to tame those unruly eyebrows or something like that? Whatever word you use up here. Are you ready to tame them? At XYU, whatever the business name is, we've helped hundreds of OC ladies look their absolute best and get the eyebrow and get the brows of their dreams, or the brows ready to hit the town. Something like that. Something that ties it back to those original pain points. It's about going out. We've helped hundreds of OC women get the brows that are ready to hit the town, or brows that turn heads, something like that, right? Something that's a little bit more casual. Clarity beats cleverness a lot of the time, but like you can be a little bit tongue in cheek with this stuff. And then I like this, with 8 years of PMU experience, with 8 years of PMU experience and thousands of women helped, hundreds of 5-star reviews. Okay, so that sentence is a little bit weird. I would get rid of that and go with over 8 years of PMU experience. You can be assured that you're going to get the brows. You can make sure that your brows are done perfectly With over 8 years of experience and hundreds of 5 stars of reviews, you can make sure that your brows look and feel perfect or something like that. You just want to reinforce that. You don't need the sales of women's help because we talked about that in the previous sentence. Then I would go with XYZ company. So like around here, I would go with XYZ company. We pride ourselves on helping you spend. So then we want to reinforce this with 4 pain solutions. So these are green ticks, right? So we want to think about the benefits of what we offer as a solution. So it might be like at XYZ, we pride ourselves on giving you water and sweat resistant brows. No more worrying about smudging and smearing and whatever. We need at least 4 of them, because what happens is there's a lot of people that won't read this and then they'll just go straight to the benefits because there's green ticks there. So we need to like talk to the benefits of this. And we don't necessarily, we want to talk partially to the benefits of getting the eyebrows done like this, but we also want to talk to the benefits of working with you. So it might be over 8 years of experience and hundreds of 5-star reviews, satisfaction guarantee, whatever that is. And then I would basically from here, I would reverse these 2. So like we've talked about that. Now we need to tie a bow in it. So that by the time they get to the bottom, we get them to take action now if they're actually engaged. So what I would do is I would say, if you're ready to get brows that turn heads, something like that, that turn heads, right? Click below to learn more. And as a special offer for the first 5 bookings, you will get $50 off your perfect brow, $50 off your next treatment or something like that for the first 5 bookings. So you want to basically switch that to there, and you want to use it as a hook to get people to take action now. Now, I think if you were to do that to this ad, the quality would improve because we're talking to a pain point as opposed to just trying to put words in a way that kind of hypes it up. So the problem I see with this whole ad, if I was at its core, is that there's a lot of words on here that don't actually do anything for the ad. Like brows of your dreams really doesn't do anything for the ad. This sentence structurally doesn't necessarily make sense. A brows you always wanted, we don't even talk about that. She's the one that gives, so is that a review? How is that? It just doesn't fit where it's supposed to be. So I think if we just structure this in a little bit of way, more narrative, more pain point and solution, talk about the benefits and then go like that, I think you'll actually get a pretty good result from this ad. Because what's the problem? Women don't want crazy old eyebrows like I've got. The solution is to get eyebrows that look perfect. Pretty easy sell there, right? Now let's have a look at this, for instance. Obviously, this is GPT generated, I'm pretty sure, and I could be wrong. It looks like it's generated on GPT. But let's look at this image quickly, and then we'll move to this. But this image, I want to land on this for a sec. So if we look at this image, the whole goal of the image is to stop people when they're scrolling. So when someone's scrolling like this on Facebook, it's got to be clear enough that it actually stops someone from scrolling. So the first way I test that is by shaking it like that. Can I tell what this image is by doing this? But not really, right? Because that's what you're doing when you're scrolling. You're like this, boom, right? We need to make sure that this image is really clear what it is. Get rid of this logo. No one cares about your business. It doesn't need to be in there. It's just filler. I would potentially, if I was going to run with this, I would just have 1 eyebrow. I don't know why you necessarily need 2. Just have 1 really nice eyebrow. Even if you have to go and get a stock image, get 1 really nice eyebrow, or do a before and after. Have this as a bushy old eyebrow, like a really bushy eyebrow, desaturate it so like it doesn't really super noticeable, and then make this eyebrow the center of the intention. Or you could have like 2 faces, a half of a face, and one height, same picture, but one has an eyebrow that's dodgy, and the other one has an eyebrow that's good. So it's actually done this way. So good eyebrow, bad eyebrow, desaturate this one, saturate up this one so that the colors in this one. And then this one, this here, that doesn't make sense being on there. OC ladies, what are we actually trying to do by having that on there? This should either be a statement that ties back to this, or this should be get perfect eyebrows today. OC ladies doesn't do anything. It's like you're just yelling it. OC ladies, there's no statement, it's no call to action or anything. It's just a waste of being there. And then the font that you use isn't even really visible. If I was to like scroll on this and just shake it like this, you can't even read what it is. So you need to pick a different font and you need to pick a different color. way. Maybe you go blue or something like that, so it really stands out. And then this same with this. If you were to make this really stand out, and I'll make it like maybe a third that goes and covers this over here, and you were to make that green or something like that, it would really stand out. So I don't mind you using that. I just think you need to use something that is like maybe green, maybe make it a lower third and 50 off or something like that, $50 off, and then limited time offer perhaps, because right now it's a bit difficult to read. And then our call to action, get browse of perfection. It's not a call to action. It would need to be get browse of perfection today. Maybe it's get perfect browse today, something like that. I like that better. Get perfect browse today, or we're talking about what we're using here. It might be like, yeah, get head turning browse today, something like that, right? Learn more is fine. The rest of the ads, not too bad. So let's look at the lead form. Obviously, where we send the traffic is almost as important as the ad itself. So this is fine. You've got the right idea here with the first 5 to book. You got the right idea here, like up here. I would just make it a little bit more readable. So like $50 off first 5 to book. I would make that like $50 off for first 5 bookings only, and just make it like string it together as a sentence. Don't have them as 2 separate elements, because it forces your eye to look at one then the other, and they get treated as 2 different things. So you could just easily make that $50 off for the first 5 bookings. And then wait doesn't belong there. You're not asking them to wait. It's not like a upsell or a downsell in a funnel. It's why would they be waiting? You already told them everything. What you're doing is trying to get them to move forward. Remember, this needs to act like the finishing line of a race and the encouragements. It needs to be like you're one step away from getting those head turning brows you always wanted, or something like that. So you got the right idea, but I would just make it a little bit more. I would make it a little bit more. I would emphasize a little bit more. And then this 5-star is fine, but I would put that under here. Join the thousands of happy OC women I've served to wake up. No, we're not talking about I. So join the thousands of happy OC women who wake up to perfect brows every morning. That's not too bad. I don't mind that. Who hit the town with eye-turning brows, something like that. Anyway, you're on the right idea. And then you go with XYZ company, reinforce the 4 benefits. That's fine. And then fill out the quick form below to achieve your best look. Like, we need to reinforce that. Fill out the quick form below to get head turning brows, if that's the one we're running down. It needs to align with what we're saying here. And why that's really important, why this needs to align with your ad, is because by the time people go and click this ad, click this learn more button and make it down to your ad, they've forgotten why they clicked. So we need to reinforce the reason they've clicked. And we need to do like a cliff note of the ad, but this is pretty close. It just needs a bit of tweaking. Now let's have a look at the questions that you got here. Have you received work done on your brows in the past? Okay, that needs to be reworded because it's very convoluted. This needs to be like, have you had your brows worked on in the past, or something like that? Have you received whatever it is in the past? You need to think about why that question needs to be in there. There may be a specific reason, but that question to me seems like it's not super important, but it could be. I would almost change this to something like, do you live in the Orange County area? Yes or no, because then that immediately qualifies. You want to get rid of the people that are clicking from Florida that didn't read the ad properly. And then, how long have you been wanting to get perfect brows? That's a hard question to answer, right? Now, it may need to be in there for a reason, but like, you want to make sure that the questions you have on here don't detract and don't make someone move out of that impulsiveness of initial clicking the ad. If they have to think about this long and hard, they may go, oh, stuff it, it's too hard. So you need to make them quick questions that are very easy to answer. It's like, how long have you been wanting to get perfect brows? What if they've had perfect brows in the past and they're not perfect anymore? That means they've wanted them for a long time, but they need the service. So I would think about what second question you could ask here that could qualify that isn't too cognitively difficult to answer. It might be, have you had brow, whatever this service is, brow sculpting in the past? Yes or no? It answers this question, but it also answers this. Or when are you wanting an appointment? Something like that. Something that's easy to answer. It's good that you've only got 1 or 2 questions. Obviously, the next form goes to the name, address, and email. I always liked a name, phone, and email. I always like to have them as custom fields just to remove the whole lead quality issue. So I would make those custom fields, because if you did, those would end up down there. Besides that, it's not too bad, dude. Considering this is your first try at this sort of format. So for context, the theoretical side of this is covered off in 2 videos that I made. The Facebook ads video, which I'll link up here, and the lead form video, which I'll link up here as well. They are where this concept comes from. The gentleman who posted this had watched both of those and given it a good try, and he got pretty close. These aren't big changes, but I think with these minor tweaks, these ads can be a lot better and perform a lot better out of the box. So guys, hopefully you found that valuable. If you want me to do something similar for yourself, let me know in the comments. Join our SMMA Service Delivery Kings group, post it in there. When I get a chance and time and inclination, I might do 3 or 4 at the same time, and I'll make this like a weekly thing if you guys are enjoying it. So let me know if you've enjoyed this, if you got some value out of it. If you have, make sure to share it to others, and obviously make sure to subscribe. So I'm Jimmy, and enjoy the rest of your day.